Okay, Math 3. So this is a pretty low tech way I'm doing this, but try to do the best I can with it. I'm gonna kind of walk you through what's going on with this. Hopefully you've already tried this. If you haven't tried it, stop, don't watch this, or only watch a little bit of it, and try it yourself. There's a big difference between uh, doing it on your own first and watching this first. So it's really good to struggle at it. Okay, so here's the idea. We want to take this shape and we want to transform it over into this shape, and we eventually want to have a single equation that does that. So I think a really good thing to do with all this stuff is just to start writing down some points, label stuff up so you know what's going on. And then you can start looking over here. Okay, what's happening? Well, this point becomes this point. So I'm going to call that A prime eventually. Now, we're probably going to have a couple of transformations to get to there. But just for right now, this point and that point go together. B is over here. That's the point that corresponds. C, look, it's the straight side, the right angle. Straight side, right angle. Okay, so C is here. Prime. I should be careful about saying straight sides. All the sides are straight. D, it's up at the top. D prime, and here's D prime. Really good just to write down some coordinates so you know what's going on with this. So we're going to go up here and just say, hey, what's point A? That's at 10, 0. Point B, that's at 12, 0. Point C is at 12, 4. And I have these points written down on another piece of paper here. So if you're going, how does he see that fast? I don't. I wrote these down already. And then E is at 8, 4. You know, and I just have to go over here and go, okay, where's that? Oh, that's over 12 and up 0, so 12, 0. Okay, so these are the points that I want to start with, and I want to end up with these points over here. Okay, and so that's a good thing to look at. And so I'm just going to get A prime for right now. A prime obviously is over at -5, +5. Okay, and then when we get our equation, we're going to come back up here and we're going to check to see if it really works. Okay, so now looking at the shape, what do I think is going to happen in order to turn it into this one? Well, I see a couple of different things. I see that it's flipped over the y-axis. I see that it's up. And I also see that it's stretched vertically. So it's not dilated. Dilated is going to stretch it in both directions equally. This is stretched just vertically. So how am I going to do this? Well, stretching it vertically, I know that I multiply by 2, but I know when I'm multiplying, it's also goofing up the shape if I'm over here doing this. Something I like to do is I like to move the shape right back to the origin. It just gives you a little bit more control. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shape and I am going to slide it back to the origin. I had a piece of patty paper here. Hang on a sec, see if I can find it. Here we go. I just set this piece of patty paper up. I put the axes on it so I can keep it oriented. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide this guy back over. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over the y-axis. I'm going to reflect it across the y-axis. Okay. So notice this point just stayed right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to enlarge it. I'm going to stretch it vertically by a factor of 2. So it's just going to stretch up, but this is going to stay locked right at 0, 0. Then once I have it stretched, then I'm just going to move it over there. So I'm going to have to move it over 5 and up 5. So that's the idea. So I'm just going to write down what I'm going to do in words. Let's scooch this thing up. See that still? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to translate it to the origin. And translating it to the origin, I have to move it left 10. So I'm just going to write it like that. Translate left 10. Now, careful, don't say left -10 because I'm going left 10. So I'm already going that way. If you say left -10, you'll actually be going that way. Okay, so left 10. And then I'm going to reflect it across the y-axis. So when I reflect something across the y-axis, the x values become opposite. Okay, so reflect across y-axis. After I reflect it across the y-axis, that's when I'm going to stretch it vertically by a factor of 2. So I'll just write that, stretch vertically okay. After I do that, I'm going to translate it left. So now it's going to be right here. It's going to be bigger. I'm going to slide it left 5 and up 5. Okay. You know what? I think I'm just going to write that in one step. Translate left 5 and up 5. You could also write this, translate this horizontally -5 units and vertically 5 units. It just depends on how precise you want to be. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to get the equations. All right, translate left. All right, so I'm going to start with xy. And so to translate left, I'm going to have to subtract 10 from the x value. All right, now this is what I'm starting with. Now, I probably should have a little more space on this for you guys. But now, here's what I've started with. It's already slid left 10. Y didn't change. And now I've got to get it to reflect across the y-axis. So when we reflect across the y-axis, we're switching the x value. The x value is the opposite of what it was before. So I can write that mathematically as I want to take the opposite of whatever the x value was. Y didn't change. Okay, I'll start over here just to get a little space. So now what did I start with for this step? Well, I started with this. I had, sorry, not 10 minus x minus 10. Okay, so I slid it left 10, flipped it across the y-axis. And what do I have to do? I have to vertically, and then I had y. And now what do I have to do? I'm not messing with the x's at all. I'm just stretching it vertically. So this isn't going to change. And my vertical stretch is by a factor of 2 units, or a factor of 2, so it's just 2y. Okay, this one's going to be longer. What did I start with? The opposite of x minus 10. Okay, and 2y. I got to move it left and up. All right, so my left, opposite of x minus 10, subtract 5, send me left. 2y, send me up 5, plus 5. All right, so here's my equation. I start with this up here. I end with this down here. So I'll just use this space. I'll use this space up here or down here just, I guess, to, oh, maybe I'll go up here. I'll write it right up here. Okay, so what's going to be my final equation to go from here to here in one step? X, Y, and that becomes, could write it way over here. Let's see how much space do I need. The opposite of x minus 10 minus 5, and then 2y stretched vertically by a factor of 2 and moved up 5. Okay, talking about that, walking yourself through what's happening is really good. Let's try it on this. All right, so 10. Okay, 10 minus 10, that's 0. Opposite of 0, 0. Then subtract 5, minus 5 works. Okay, let's try the y value. 2 times 0, 0. Plus 5, 5 works. Let's try it with the 12. Okay, so this is going to be b prime. Kind of walk through this now. All right, 12 minus 10, 2. Opposite, negative 2. Negative 2 minus 5, negative 7. Let's check that. Is b prime at negative 7? It sure is. Over negative 7. It's looking good. All right, 2y plus 5. Here's my y. 2 times 0, 0. Plus 5. So this guy's going to be And is it? Over 7, up 5, looks like it's good. I'll leave you to check the other ones. All right, so as we're just doing this, let's just run back through. First thing you got to do is you got to look at it and kind of figure out what you're going to try. All right, and you can walk through it with patty paper. That's a good idea. I'm going to slide it. I'm going to reflect it. I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to move it. Okay, once you get it in your head what you want to do, then you can start writing down your steps. You get your steps, you can write your equations. Now, you could write this, and then this, and then this, and then this, or you can write all of these and then all of those. It's kind of a personal choice. At the end, you want to go back and you want to check it to see if it really works. Okay. In another video, I'm going to show you how to then put this into the web page, because we're going to have to modify it to make this shape a little bit different. And then you can see if this works or not. All right. But you need to be able to do this based on just paper and pencil like we were doing here. Okay. I hope that helps.